Jeff, I'd like it to focus in on just a moment about the significance of religious liberty for our Christian schools. How does AACS and others like it interact with this?
First, speaking to the importance of religious liberty, religious liberty is absolutely essential to the operation of genuine Christian schools. If we look back at the definition of Christian education that we talked about in the first segment, Christian education is the transformation of a child who is owned by God, given in stewardship to parents, spiritually, intellectually, physically, and socially, into a yielded and fully equipped servant of our majestic God. I mean, that very definition excludes success in a secular school system. That cannot be done in a secularized school. Christian truth is increasingly frustrated and suppressed in government schools in America today. Ideologies and social norms that are very much in opposition to biblical truth are promoted and normalized. Just yesterday, it's sitting on my desk right now, I got the latest issue of Educational Leadership magazine, and the entire issue is about making school a safe place with a significant emphasis on the protection and promotion or protection and safety of what they call gender diverse students. That kind of thinking permeates secular education, and if religious liberty is not protected, it will be forced on Christian schools as well. Religious liberty must be protected, or Christian schools will be forced to conform to anti-biblical norms or close. That's an important role for the American Association of Christian Schools. For many of the schools and leaders that participate with us, that would be the primary thing, the most important reason that they participate as a school member of the American Association of Christian Schools. Many of our state associations are very active at state legislatures. Just this week, I was communicating with schools in Hawaii about a mandatory HPV vaccine, and in schools in Virginia where that HPV vaccine was made mandatory for middle school age girls. But the state association in Virginia was very active in opposing that imposition, and they were able to put in place an amendment to the bill that allows parents to opt out for any reason. At the national level, our AACS Washington office has 3 full-time staff who work every day with legislators and regulators. I'll give you an illustration of the success of those relationships that have been developed through 40 years of activity in Washington, D.C. About 2 months ago, a proposed piece of legislation went from the Department of Education to the House Education Committee, waiting for a House member, a congressman, to pick it up and carry the bill forward. It was a bill having to do with grants, and the grants were about data collection. And initially, the data collection seemed to include private schools. So for a state Department of Ed to apply for the grant, they would have to roll up private school data in this collection. Well, a staffer in the House Education Committee sent that to our office and said, hey, you might want to know about this. Our office communicated with the Department of Education, and within 24 hours, language was added to clarify that private schools were not required for the data roll-up. And so we've had the opportunity to have a significant influence because of the presence of our office there. One other comment on that, just a couple of weeks ago, there were 110 pastors and school leaders at our Washington Legislative Conference. Those people made more than 200 office visits to congressional offices, talking to them about our opposition to the Equality Act and our support of Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos's effort to establish a federal tax credit for contributions to scholarship granting organizations. So religious liberty is crucial to the success, the preservation of Christian schools, and we think that's one of the most important things we do as an association.